most popular things in the sale is the Stormtrooper helmet from Return of the Jedi. What's great again about this is it was consigned by the guy who wore it. It's never been touched. It's never been repainted, redecaled, touched by human hands. It went from his head to your hands. So for anybody who ever wanted a Jedi helmet or a Stormtrooper helmet, you're never going to get a better one unless the Lucas Archives liquidate, which is never going to happen. So for Star Wars fans, this is it. I mean, the original lenses in the eyes, completely untouched, and that I can't stress that enough because even I have sold them and they've been touched.
Right.
They've been repainted. They've been re-this. They've been re-that because they weren't saved. I mean, it's not a sturdy helmet. It's a pretty light piece. And then from the same guy, he worked on. He was that Stormtrooper, and then he also worked on Last Crusade. And what's great is here he is. And here he is with Harrison Ford in the castle. This is the whip from that specific scene. Harrison Ford is holding the cable whip, which he does the stunts on, and then Dickie's holding this whip down here, and he'd hand this to him for the next scene. This is the 10-foot whip, and he took this home. So again, to get it, there's only one other Indiana Jones whip that has equal provenance, and that's the one, the Harrison Ford one, with the letter that he gave it to a charity auction, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago, that sold that.
Christie's, right?
Yeah, for $55,000. So that one comes with a note from Harrison Ford, but it's identical to this whip. So other than that one, which is probably the best provenance, this would be the second best provenance whip that's ever come onto the market because it's literally scene specific from the guy in the photo. So kind of hard to beat that.
And he was a stuntman?
He was a stuntman.
Okay.
Yeah. A Wrangler.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, from Stan Winston. Made by Stan Winston Studios. This is for a Japanese toy line, an endoskeleton that was mass-produced commercially. They made about 400 of them, but there were 3 maquettes. This was Stan's personal maquette made in his workshop. So this isn't one that was made off-site in China or someplace. This was made by Stan's artist. It's just absolutely gorgeous. I think the eyes light up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So for you, if you want something extra. I like this. This is one of my favorite things in the auction because it's little.
Yeah. It's
very cool, and it doesn't need a whole lot of explanations.
Right.
I love Nightmare. This is an Oogie Boogie. Again, to give you an idea of scale compared to how big I am, it's not some little thing. This is great. This is an Oogie Boogie production, made skin. Inside there's an armature, but this is such a great thing. Other than Jack, probably the best thing you could possibly want from this film. And this is the amazing piece. When Oogie ripped this skin off at the end of the movie, this is what's under him. Under his cloak, this is what Oogie looks like. And this is the final scene of the movie where he's dancing and he kind of decomposes. This is the stop-motion hero armature. I mean, this is incredible. Even the photograph of the catalog can't do it justice. There are thousands and thousands of little bugs, each one hand-painted, with the full armature and back. This is such a great piece.
Wow. So does it have any movement?
It would if you did, it would fall apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the back of it, you can, if you want to go around the back, you can. You can see the, it's not supple anymore. When this was used in the film, it was supple. It would have been much more pliable. Now it's been conserved and, it's been treated so it would stay intact. But in the film, this would slide down. He would kind of crunch.
Okay.
So this was re-backed archivally to keep it in this one position. Yeah, it could never be moved again.
Wow.
But you could see how the effect worked. But it's just such a, if you can just really get an idea of the detail, the little tiny thousands and thousands of bugs and worms and critters, spiders, it's pretty amazing.
So it seems from your past auctions that these Nightmare Before Christmas items go pretty high in price.
Yeah, because it's stop motion. It's one of the greatest contemporary stop motion films that ever was made. Because remember, it's no CGI.
Right.
This whole film was made stop motion. So the fact that you have this is a lost art form. Or one that's seldom used because of the expensiveness. Every scene has to be articulated. So again, from more things from this film, Jack, Sally Face, the Mayor puppet, more artwork, Jack's Christmas list from Nightmare. What's great about this is at the end, Henry, Kathleen, Tim, and Danny. So you get Danny Elfman, Tim Burton, Kathleen Kennedy, and Henry Selick, the director. So they kind of had fun with that. And this is when Sally's poisoning him. This is the screen-used bowl and spoon, you know, where he'd be drinking the poison. The blueprints for the flying Christmas reindeers. A piece of Oogie's house. Yeah, again, really iconic, you know, great stuff.